The wrench slipped from Danny's grease-covered hands and clattered against the metal floor. He cursed under his breath and wiped his palms on his already dirty coveralls. The cooling system he had been fixing for the past 3 hours was finally cooperating. Just a few more adjustments and the freight hauler would be ready to leave Frontier Station Osprey. Danny loved his work. There was something peaceful about fixing broken machines. They never lied to you. They never made promises they could not keep. When something was broken, you found the problem and fixed it. Simple, clean, honest. He reached for the wrench again when the entire station shook. Emergency sirens began wailing through every corridor. Red lights flashed across the docking bay walls. Danny stumbled backward as the main bay doors buckled inward like paper. Something massive crashed through the energy shields. Sparks flew everywhere. The safety barriers that were supposed to stop unauthorized entries shattered into pieces. Danny dropped to the ground and covered his head as debris rained down around him. When the noise stopped, he looked up slowly. His breath caught in his throat. A dragon stood in the middle of his repair bay. Not a small creature. Not something from Earth legends. This was real and terrifying and beautiful all at once. The dragon's scales shimmered like polished bronze in the emergency lights. His wings stretched nearly 40 feet across, torn and bleeding in several places. His eyes were the color of burning amber. Station security teams rushed into the bay from every entrance. They carried plasma rifles and shock weapons. Their boots thundered against the floor as they surrounded the dragon. Danny could see their fingers tightening on triggers, but the dragon was not attacking. He was holding something carefully in his massive claws. Another dragon. Smaller. Her scales were dull gray instead of shining bronze. Her eyes were closed. She was not moving. The dragon spoke. His voice came through a small translator device attached to a chain around his neck. The words were broken and desperate. Please. Need help, mate dying. No one else try. Heard stories. Humans fix broken things, please. The security captain shouted orders. More weapons charged with crackling energy. Danny could smell ozone in the air. The dragon lowered his head. He placed the female dragon on the floor with such gentleness that Danny felt his chest tighten. Then the massive creature collapsed. His wings folded around her like a protective shield. Blood dripped from his wounds onto the floor. Please, the dragon said again. His voice was barely a whisper now. Name is Rothan. Her name is Silara. She is everything. Poisoned by enemies. 3 days ago. No Dravon healer can save. Heard humans try impossible. Please try, please. The security captain raised his hand to give the order to fire. Danny did not think. He just moved. He stepped between the weapons and the dragons. His legs shook, but he stood firm. Wait, Danny said. His voice sounded too loud in his own ears. Just wait a minute. Get out of the way, Reeves, the security captain snapped. This is a security breach. Unauthorized entry. We have protocols. He is asking for help, Danny said. He looked at Rothan. The dragon's amber eyes met his. Danny saw something there that he recognized. Desperation. Fear. The same look Danny had seen in his own mirror years ago when his sister was dying. He is asking for help and we are pointing guns at him. We don't have medical facilities for something that size, the captain argued. We don't even know what species they are. This is not our problem. Danny walked closer to the female dragon. Rothan watched him but did not move. Danny knelt down beside her. Her scales felt warm under his fingertips. He could see her chest rising and falling in shallow breaths. Whatever was wrong with her, she was still alive. Barely. What kind of poison? Danny asked. Rothan lifted his head slightly. Hope flickered in his eyes like a candle in the wind. Void tears, Rothan said. Made by Ashon clan. Enemy of my family, no cure. Always kills, always. But heard stories about humans. How they save things that should be dead. How they never give up. Traveled 5 systems to find human station. Please, I beg. A woman in a medical uniform pushed through the security teams. Dr. Anya Volkov carried a portable scanner. She was the station's chief medical officer. Danny had worked with her before on various equipment repairs. Let me see, Dr. Volkov said. She scanned the female dragon carefully. Her face grew more grim with each passing second. Finally, she looked at Danny and shook her head. This is beyond our capabilities. I am sorry. The poison has damaged too many internal systems. We do not have the knowledge or equipment to treat a species we have never seen before. Rothan made a sound that was somewhere between a roar and a sob. He curled tighter around Silara. His wings trembled. Danny looked at the scanner readings even though he could not understand most of them. But some things were familiar. The patterns looked similar to radiation poisoning mixed with something biological. The numbers were falling. Time was running out. He thought about his sister Rachel. She had been sick with something doctors called incurable. They had given up, said there was nothing to be done. But one alien doctor had refused to accept that answer. That doctor had tried an experimental treatment. Rachel was alive today because someone decided to try when everyone else had given up. Danny stood up. He faced Dr. Volkov and the security captain. "I will try," he said. "You are a mechanic, not a doctor," Dr. Volkov said gently. "You fix ships and equipment. This is a living creature." "Everything is a machine when you think about it," Danny said. He looked at Rothan. "I cannot promise anything. I am not a doctor. I just fix broken things. That is all I know how to do. But I will try. If you want me to try, I will try." Rothan's entire body sagged with relief. Tears leaked from his amber eyes and sizzled when they hit the metal floor. "Yes," Rothan whispered. "Yes, try, please try. That is all I ask. Someone who tries." Danny nodded. He turned to the security captain. "I need this bay cleared. I need every medical scanner and supply you can find. I need chemical analyzers and fabrication equipment. And I need time." The security captain looked like he wanted to argue, but something in Danny's expression must have convinced him. He lowered his weapon. "You have 48 hours, the captain said. "Then this becomes a diplomatic situation and it goes above my head. 48 hours, Reeves. That is all I can give you." Danny rolled up his sleeves. 48 hours to save a dying alien dragon using nothing but mechanic tools and desperate hope. He had worked with worse odds before. "Let's get started," Danny said. 3 empty coffee cups sat on the workbench beside a collection of medical scanners that Danny had never expected to use. He stared at the holographic display showing Silara's internal structure and tried to make sense of what he was seeing. Dr. Volkov stood beside him, her fingers moving across the scanner controls. She had been working with him for 6 hours straight. Despite her earlier doubts, she had thrown herself into the challenge with fierce determination. "This does not make biological sense," she muttered. "Look here. Her circulatory system contains metallic compounds, not trace elements. Actual metals flowing through her veins. And these structures here." She pointed to crystalline formations throughout Silara's body. "They are not organic. They are more like circuit boards." Danny leaned closer. The crystalline structures glowed faintly in the scan. They were connected to every major organ. As he watched, he saw the poison spreading through them like corruption in computer code. Each node it touched went dark. "It is killing the crystals," Danny said slowly. "Those nodes must regulate her body functions. When they die, her organs stop working." "Exactly," Dr. Volkov confirmed. "She is shutting down one system at a time. Her body temperature regulation failed 2 hours ago. Respiratory efficiency is down 40%. Her heart equivalent is beating irregularly. She has maybe 12 hours left. Probably less." Rothan lay nearby, his massive head resting on his claws. He had not moved since they began working. His amber eyes tracked every movement Danny and Dr. Volkov made. The hope in those eyes was painful to see. Danny walked over to him. The dragon lifted his head slightly. "Can you tell me more about the poison?" Danny asked. "Anything might help." Rothan's voice was rough with exhaustion. "Void tears created by Ashon clan 3 centuries ago. Used to eliminate enemies without direct combat. No Draven has ever survived. Our healers use energy manipulation and biological regeneration. But poison attacks too fast. Destroys faster than we can heal." "Your people use magic?" Danny asked carefully. "Not magic. Energy manipulation. We channel forces. Reshape biology through will and power. But this," Rothan gestured weakly at Silara. "This is different. This is chemical and structural. Our methods do not work." Danny felt a spark of understanding. Different species had different approaches to problems. Dravons used energy and biological manipulation. Humans used chemistry and mechanics. Maybe that was why Rothan had come looking for human help. "Tell me about Silara," Danny said. He pulled up a stool and sat down near Rothan's head. "How long have you been together?" Rothan's eyes softened. 347 years. We bonded during the border wars. I was young, arrogant. Led my wing into an ambush. Should have died. Silara came back for me. Pulled me from burning wreckage. Defended me while I healed. Everyone said she was foolish. that I was not worth saving. She did not care what others said. She saw something in me worth fighting for. The dragon's voice cracked. Now I cannot save her. I am strong enough to destroy mountains. I can fly faster than most ships. I have fought in 100 battles. But I cannot save the one who matters most. I am useless. Danny put his hand on Rothan's scaled snout. The dragon's skin was warm and surprisingly smooth. You flew 5 systems while wounded to find help, Danny said quietly. You carried her every step. You did not give up. That is not useless. That is love. Rothan closed his eyes. A tear slid down his scaled cheek and dripped onto the floor. Danny stood and walked back to the workbench. His mind was racing. If he thought of Silara's body as a complex machine, the poison was a corrupting program. The crystalline nodes were failing hardware. Standard medical treatment would not work because Dravon biology was too different. But what if he did not try to use standard medical treatment? I have an idea, Danny said. It is crazy. It might not work. But I need to try something. Dr. Volkov looked at him. What are you thinking? The crystalline nodes are like circuit boards, right? They regulate her systems. The poison is destroying them faster than her body can regenerate. So what if we bypass the damaged nodes? What if we create new ones? Create crystalline biological structures? Danny, we do not have that technology. That would require equipment we do not have. Knowledge we do not possess. Danny pulled up specifications on his datapad. We have nanofabricators for ship repairs. We have medical synthesizers for creating biological compounds. We have crystalline materials in storage for sensor arrays. What if we combine them? Dr. Volkov stared at the datapad. Her eyes widened. You want to build replacement biological components using ship repair equipment? Why not? We use similar techniques to repair biogel systems in ships. This is just more complicated. We flush the poison from her system while simultaneously building new nodes to replace the damaged ones. Give her body something to connect to while it heals. That is insane, Dr. Volkov said. Then she smiled. It is also brilliant. It might actually work. Or it might kill her instantly. She will die anyway if we do nothing, Danny pointed out. Dr. Volkov nodded slowly. True, let me run simulations. See if the fabricators can produce compatible structures. We will need to map her entire crystalline network, calculate exact replacement patterns, mix chemical compounds that her body will not reject. This will take hours to prepare. Then we should start now, Danny said. For the next 8 hours they worked without stopping. Danny requisitioned equipment from every department on the station. He called in favors from mechanics and engineers he had worked with over the years. People brought supplies without asking questions. Some came because they owed Danny favors. Others came because they heard about the dying dragon and wanted to help. Commander Harris visited briefly. He looked tired and worried. You have 18 hours left, Reeves. The Galactic Union has been notified of the breach. If she dies, this becomes a diplomatic incident. If she lives, he paused. If she lives, I do not know what happens. Just do your best, Danny did not answer. He was too focused on calibrating the nanofabricators to produce crystalline structures that matched Silara's biology. The work was delicate. One mistake in the molecular structure and the replacement nodes would be useless. Or worse, toxic. Dr. Volkov worked on the chemical compounds to flush the poison. She mixed 3 different formulations before finding one that theoretically would not kill Silara outright. Theoretically was a word Danny was learning to hate. As artificial dawn broke over the station, they were ready. Danny looked at the equipment surrounding Silara. Medical monitors, fabrication units, chemical delivery systems, plasma welders modified to work as surgical tools. It looked like a mechanic shop had collided with a hospital. He walked to Rothan. The dragon had not slept. His eyes were bloodshot but alert. We are ready to try, Danny said. I will not lie to you. This might not work. She might die during the procedure. Her body might reject everything we do. But if we do nothing, she will be dead in less than 10 hours. You need to decide. Rothan did not hesitate. Do it, Silara would want you to try. She always believed impossible things could happen if someone was brave enough to attempt them. Show her she was right, please. Danny nodded. He turned to Dr. Volkov. Let's begin. They moved Silara onto a specially prepared platform, connected monitoring equipment to her body. Danny's hands were steady despite the fear churning in his stomach. He had fixed thousands of broken things in his life, but he had never attempted anything like this. He looked at Silara's still face. at Rothan's desperate hope, at Dr. Volkov's determined expression. "Here we go," Danny said, and activated the first system. Alarm screamed across every monitor at once. Silara's body convulsed on the platform. The chemical mixture Danny had just injected was causing a violent reaction. Her scales rippled like water. Her breathing stopped. Her heart just crashed, Dr. Volkov shouted over the noise. "We are losing her." Danny's mind went blank for one terrible second. Then training and instinct took over. He grabbed the modified plasma welder from the workbench. It was designed to fuse metal, but he had recalibrated it based on Dravon physiology. Theoretically, it could work as a defibrillator. Theoretically. "Clear," he yelled, even though no one was touching Silara. He pressed the welder contacts against her chest and activated it. Energy surged through the device. Silara's entire body arched off the platform. The monitors flatlined. Then, after 3 seconds that felt like 3 years, a single beep, then another. Her heart was beating again, Rothan roared. The sound was pure anguish. He lunged toward the platform. Dr. Volkov barely managed to block him. "She is alive," Dr. Volkov said firmly. "She is still alive, Rothan. But you must let us work. If you interfere now, we will lose her for certain." The dragon stopped moving. His whole body trembled. Tears streamed down his face, sizzling when they hit the metal floor. But he stayed back. Danny did not have time to feel relieved. The chemical flush was working too aggressively. He needed to adjust the formula in real time. His fingers flew across the control panel, making microscopic changes to the compound ratios. Too much and they would poison her further. Too little and the void tears would continue destroying her from inside. "Nanofabricators are producing the first replacement nodes," Dr. Volkov reported. She monitored the microscopic machines that were building new crystalline structures inside Silara's body. "Quality looks good. Molecular structure matches her existing nodes. But the integration process is slow. Too slow. The poison is spreading faster than we can build," Danny thought frantically. They needed more time, more speed, more something. "What if we boost her metabolism?" he suggested. "Speed up her natural healing to work with the fabricators instead of waiting for them to finish first. That could work, or it could burn through her remaining energy and kill her faster." "Everything we do could kill her," Danny said. He was making adjustments even as he spoke. "But doing nothing definitely will kill her. We have to take risks." Dr. Volkov prepared an injection of metabolic accelerants. She looked at Danny. He nodded. She administered the dose. For 10 seconds, nothing happened. Then Silara's scales began to glow. Faint at first, then brighter. Her body temperature spiked. The monitors showed her healing processes accelerating dramatically. "It is working," Dr. Volkov whispered. "Her body is accepting the new nodes, integrating them. The combination of fabricated structures and natural healing is creating hybrid nodes. Danny, this is unprecedented." But there was no time to celebrate. Another alarm blared. The poison was concentrating in Silara's brain equivalent. If it damaged that, nothing else would matter. Danny made a decision. He rerouted all the nanofabricators to focus on that one area. It meant leaving other damaged nodes unfixed for now. But if her brain died, her body would not be far behind. He talked to Silara as he worked. He did not know if she could hear him. Probably not. But talking helped him focus. "Come on, Silara. Rothan told me you saved him when everyone said he was not worth it. You fought for him when others gave up. Now you need to fight for yourself. You need to hold on just a little longer. We are almost there. Just hold on." His hands cramped from gripping tools for so many hours. His eyes burned from staring at monitors. His back ached from leaning over the platform. He ignored all of it. Nothing mattered except the dragon in front of him. Dr. Volkov brought him water, made him drink, brought food. He ate without tasting it. Other people moved in and out of the bay, mechanics offering equipment, station personnel watching in silence. News had spread through Frontier Station Osprey. Everyone knew about the impossible thing Danny was attempting. Hour 17 came and went. Then hour 20. Silara's condition stabilized slowly. The poison levels dropped. The new nodes activated one by one, taking over for damaged systems. Her breathing became stronger. Her heartbeat steadied, but she was not out of danger yet. The next 12 hours were critical. If her body rejected the hybrid nodes, if the poison resurged, if any of 100 things went wrong, she would still die. Danny worked through the night. Dr. Volkov stayed beside him, monitoring everything. Rothan never moved from his position nearby. His eyes never left Silara's face. As artificial dawn broke again over the station, something changed. Silara's scales, which had been dull gray for days, began to show color. Not much, just a hint of purple at the edges. But it was there. Her body is healing, Dr. Volkov said. She sounded shocked. The hybrid nodes are working better than her original ones. They are more efficient, more adaptable. Danny, I think she is going to survive. I actually think she is going to make it. Danny leaned against the workbench. His legs felt weak. The adrenaline that had been keeping him going for almost 30 hours was fading, but he could not rest yet. Not until he was certain. He spent the next 6 hours making minor adjustments, fine-tuning the chemical balance in Silara's system, monitoring the integration of the hybrid nodes, slowly, carefully, bringing her back from the edge of death. Hour 36. Silara's scales were definitely purple now, a deep, rich color that shimmered in the light. Her breathing was steady and strong. All her vital signs were normal. Better than normal. The reading suggested she was healthier than she had been before the poisoning. Dr. Volkov confirmed it with her scans. The hybrid nodes are not just replacing damaged systems. They are enhancing them. She has capabilities now that no other Dravon possesses. Danny, this is a medical miracle. Danny walked to Rothan. The dragon looked up at him with desperate hope. She is going to live, Danny said simply. The procedure worked. She just needs rest now, time to fully heal, but she is going to survive. Rothan made a sound that was half roar, half sob. He pressed his massive head against Danny's chest as carefully as he could. Danny felt tears soaking through his coveralls. He put his hands on the dragon's scaled face. She fought hard, Danny said. So did you. You both deserve this. You saved her, Rothan whispered. You saved everything that matters to me. There are no words. No way to thank you enough. You can thank me by being there when she wakes up, Danny said. That is all the thanks I need. Commander Harris entered the bay. He looked at the monitors, at Silara's steadily glowing scales, at Rothan's tears of relief. 48 hours, Harris said. You actually did it with 12 hours to spare. Reeves, you just performed the most remarkable medical procedure in station history, possibly in human history. Do you understand what this means? Danny was too tired to understand anything except that Silara was alive, that Rothan was not broken, that he had fixed something everyone said was unfixable. It means I need sleep, Danny said. About 3 days' worth. And maybe a shower. Harris laughed. Fair enough. But tomorrow we need to talk. The Galactic Union wants a full report. Medical researchers from 6 species want to study what you did. And... He paused. There are complications. Rothan's presence here has attracted attention. Not all of it friendly, but that was tomorrow's problem. Today Silara was alive. Today Danny had done the impossible. Today was good enough. Silara's eyes opened slowly, revealing irises the color of molten gold. She blinked several times, confused. Her head moved slightly, taking in the unfamiliar surroundings. The repair bay, the equipment. The small human standing nearby with a data pad. Then she saw Rothan. He was pressed against the platform where she lay, his head close to hers. His amber eyes were bright with tears. Rothan. Her voice was weak but clear. The translator around her neck converted her words to something Danny could understand. Where are we? What happened? I remember pain. The poison. Then nothing. Rothan's answer came out as a choked sob. He touched his forehead to hers gently. You are alive. You are safe. That is all that matters. Danny stayed back, giving them space. But Silara noticed him. Her golden eyes focused on the small human. She studied him with clear intelligence. You are human, she said. It was not a question. Rothan brought me to humans. My name is Danny Reeves, Danny said. You were poisoned with void tears. You were dying. Rothan asked me to help. So I tried. You have been unconscious for almost 2 days. Silara tried to sit up. Her body responded slowly, unsteadily. Rothan supported her with one wing. She looked down at herself. Her scales were no longer the dull gray of near death. They shimmered with deep purple color. But something felt different. I feel strange, she said. Stronger than before. But different. What did you do to me? Dr. Volkov approached carefully. The poison destroyed your crystalline nodes. We had to replace them. But human technology and Dravon biology do not normally work together. So we created hybrid nodes, part organic, part mechanical. They saved your life, but they also enhanced your natural systems. Silara touched her chest where the new nodes hummed beneath her scales. She could feel them working, could sense connections she had never experienced before. It was like discovering a new sense. I can feel the station systems, she said, wonder in her voice. The power grid, the computer networks. I can sense them like I sense the air. This is not normal for my kind. No, Dr. Volkov agreed.
It is not.
You are unique now. The only Dravon with technological integration. We do not fully understand all the implications yet. Silara looked at Danny for a long moment, then slowly and carefully, she lowered her head until her snout nearly touched his chest. It was a gesture of deep respect among Dravons. You gave me my life back, she said softly. More than that. You gave Rothan hope when there was none. How do I repay such a debt? You do not owe me anything, Danny said. He felt uncomfortable with the gratitude. I just did what anyone should do. Someone needed help. I helped. Not anyone would have tried, Silara said. Rothan told me how your people pointed weapons at us. How they said I was beyond saving. But you tried anyway, why? Danny thought about how to answer. Finally, he said, my sister was sick once. Doctors gave up on her. Said there was nothing to be done. But one alien doctor refused to accept that. He tried an experimental treatment. My sister is alive today because someone cared enough to try. I figured I owed it to that doctor to do the same for someone else. Silara's eyes glistened. Then your sister's doctor saved 2 lives. Hers and mine. That is the way good actions spread. Like ripples in water. The peaceful moment shattered when alarms blared through the station. Commander Harris burst into the bay, his face grim. We have a situation, he said. 3 Ashran clan ships just entered the system. They are demanding we turn over Silara immediately. Rothan's entire body went rigid. His scales darkened with rage. They dare come here? After poisoning her? After trying to murder her? They claim she is a criminal, Harris said. That she murdered Ashran nobles. They want her extradited to face justice in Dravon space. That is a lie, Rothan snarled. Tell them the truth, Silara. Tell them why the Ashran want you dead. Silara's voice was steady despite the fear Danny could see in her eyes. I did kill Ashran nobles. 3 of them. But it was not murder. They were enslaving a colony of Terran people. Small creatures, defenseless. The Ashran were using them for labor, treating them worse than animals. I tried to stop it peacefully. They refused. So I fought them. I freed the Terran and killed the Ashran who tried to stop me. So you saved innocents, Dr. Volkov said. That is not a crime. It is to the Ashran, Silara said bitterly. They have controlled Dravon space for centuries through fear and violence. Anyone who challenges them becomes their enemy. They poisoned me because killing me in open combat would have made me a martyr. Poison is quieter. Easier to hide, Danny's mind was racing. Do you have proof? Evidence of what they did? The Terran colony has records. Witness testimony. But the Ashran have political power. They control most of the Galactic Union Council seats for our species. My word means nothing against theirs. Commander Harris looked frustrated. I am stuck between regulations and morality. If I refuse to hand her over, the Ashran can claim we are harboring a fugitive. If I do hand her over, I am sending her to die. I need time to figure this out. Time is something we do not have, Rothan said. The Ashran will not wait. They will demand immediate action. A junior officer ran into the bay. Commander, the Ashran ships are powering weapons. They say they will take Silara by force if necessary. They are giving us 1 hour to comply. The repair bay fell silent. Danny looked at Silara. She had just woken up from nearly dying. Now she faced execution or war. It was not fair. It was not right. There has to be another way, Danny said. We cannot just give her to them. What do you suggest? Harris asked. We are 1 small station. They have 3 warships. If it comes to fighting, we lose. Danny's mechanic brain started working through the problem like it was a broken machine. There were always solutions if you looked at things from the right angle. The Ashran had political power, but they had used illegal weapons. They claimed justice, but they practiced tyranny. They expected compliance because that was what they always received. What if we do not give them compliance? Danny said slowly. What if we fight them with information instead of weapons? Explain, Harris said, the void tears poison. It is illegal, right? Banned by galactic weapons treaties? Dr. Volkov nodded. Yes. Chemical weapons that target specific species are forbidden. The penalties for using them are severe. So we have proof they broke galactic law, Danny continued. We have Silara. We have medical scans showing exactly what the poison did. We have Rothan's testimony. What if we go public with all of it? Show the entire galaxy what the Ashran really are? That could work, Dr. Volkov said, excitement growing in her voice. Expose them before they can silence Silara. Make this too public for them to hide. It could also make things worse, Harris warned. The Ashran have allies, resources. If we humiliate them publicly, they might retaliate against the whole station. They will retaliate anyway, Rothan said. That is who they are. But if we expose them, at least we give others the courage to stand against them. My clan, other Dravons who hate the Ashran but fear them too much to act. This could be the spark that starts real change. Harris paced back and forth thinking. Finally, he stopped and looked at Danny. You saved a dying dragon using ship repair equipment and crazy ideas. You made the impossible happen once already. Can you do it again? Danny thought about it. Thought about Silara's golden eyes and Rothan's desperate hope. Thought about his sister and the doctor who had refused to give up. Thought about all the times someone had to take a risk to do the right thing. Yes, Danny said, but I cannot do it alone. We need help. A lot of it. Then let's get to work, Harris said. We have 58 minutes before the Ashran starts shooting. Let's make those minutes count. Danny's fingers moved across the communication console faster than they ever had before. He was sending messages to every contact he had across the galaxy. Mechanics, traders, journalists, anyone who might listen. Anyone who might care. Dr. Volkov worked beside him, compiling medical data. Scans of the Void Tears poison, records of the procedure that saved Silara, evidence that would prove the Ashran had used banned weapons. Message sent to the Human News Network, Danny said, and to the Independent Galactic Press, and to about 40 different information brokers. I have uploaded the medical files to public databases, Dr. Volkov added. Anyone can access them now. The evidence is out there. They cannot hide it anymore. Commander Harris monitored the Ashran ships. They hung in space outside the station, weapons charged but not firing. Yet, the lead ship kept broadcasting demands for Silara's immediate surrender. 40 minutes left, Harris said. Whatever we are doing, we need to do it fast. Rothan and Silara stood together near the bay entrance. Silara was still weak, but she refused to hide. If this was going to be a fight, she wanted to be part of it. The Ashran commander is named Varkos, Rothan said. His voice was hard with old hatred. He led the attack on the Terran colony. He is the one who ordered Silara poisoned. He is a monster with official authority. Danny looked up from the console. Then let's show everyone what kind of monster he is. Responses started coming in. The first was from a human journalist Danny had helped years ago. She had been stranded when her ship broke down. Danny had fixed it for free. Now she was repaying that kindness. I have your story, her message read, broadcasting it across all human channels now. The Ashran are about to become very famous. Not in a good way. More messages followed. A Centauri news outlet picked up the story. Then a Terran information network. The story spread like fire across dry grass. Within 20 minutes, half the galaxy knew about the Ashran using illegal weapons, about a human mechanic saving a dying dragon, about a small station standing up to tyranny. The communication channels lit up with incoming calls. Other humans wanting to know how they could help. Ships changing course to reach Frontier Station Osprey. Voices from across the galaxy offering support. Commander, the communications officer called out. We have ships arriving. Human vessels, 3 freight haulers, 2 passenger ships, and a patrol cruiser from the Earth Alliance. Harris looked stunned. They came? They actually came? More arriving every minute, the officer reported. Not just humans. I am reading a Centauri medical ship. A Terran transport. Even a Dravon clan ship. They are all positioning themselves between us and the Ashran vessels. Danny felt something tight in his chest loosen. They were not alone. The message had spread and people had answered. Perfect strangers coming to help because it was the right thing to do. Varkos, the Ashran commander, appeared on the main view screen. He was a massive dragon with scales like black metal. His eyes were cold amber. When he spoke, his voice dripped with contempt. You think this changes anything? Varkos said. You think these ships matter? Clear the area immediately or we will fire on all of you. We have authority from the Galactic Union. Silara is a criminal and we will take her by force if necessary. Commander Harris stepped forward to respond, but Danny moved faster. He activated his own communication link, broadcasting to every ship in the area. My name is Danny Reeves. I am just a mechanic. I do not have authority or power or political connections, but I have evidence. Evidence that you, Commander Varkos, used illegal weapons. That you enslaved innocent people. That you tried to murder someone for stopping your crimes. You have nothing, Varkos snarled. The word of a human mechanic means nothing. I have medical scans, Danny continued. Documented proof of void tears poison, banned by 17 galactic treaties. I have testimony from survivors of your slavery operation. I have records that your own clan members provided, because they are tired of your brutality. And I have already sent all of it to every news organization in the galaxy. He paused, then added, Everyone is watching now, Varkos. The whole galaxy sees what you are. If you attack this station, if you harm any of these ships, you prove everything I just said. You become the villain in a story that will be told for generations. Varkos's face twisted with rage. You dare threaten me? I will destroy you. I will destroy this entire station. I will make an example that teaches the galaxy not to interfere with Ashon business. Then do it, Danny said quietly. Fire on unarmed ships. Fire on a medical station. Show everyone exactly who you are. Or stand down and face justice. Your choice. The seconds stretched out. Danny could hear his own heartbeat. Could see Silara and Rothan standing together, ready to fight or die together. Could feel the tension from everyone in the bay. Varkos opened his mouth to give the order. But before he could speak, another voice came over the communication channel. A Dravon voice. Old and powerful, stand down, Varkos. This is Elder Mirath of the Council of Clans. You are recalled to answer charges of weapons treaty violations. Return to Draven space immediately or face the consequences. Varkos's expression went from rage to shock to fear. Elder Mirath. The human is lying. They fabricated evidence. We have reviewed the evidence, Elder Mirath said coldly. It is genuine. You have brought shame upon all Dravens. You have given our enemies reason to fear and hate us. You will answer for your crimes. Stand down now. That is not a request. The Ashran ship's weapons powered down slowly. Varkos's face on the view screen looked like he had been struck. His authority, his power, everything he had relied on was crumbling. This is not over, Varkos said, but his voice lacked conviction. He knew he had lost. The transmission cut off. The Ashran ships began turning away, retreating into the dark of space. Cheers erupted throughout the bay. The assembled ships broadcast congratulations and victory songs. Silara and Rothan embraced, their relief palpable. Commander Harris put a hand on Danny's shoulder. You did it. You actually did it. You stood up to a warship commander with nothing but evidence and conviction. That was either the bravest or the craziest thing I have ever seen. Probably both, Danny admitted. His legs felt weak now that the danger had passed. He sat down heavily on a nearby crate. Dr. Volkov was reading incoming messages on her datapad. The Galactic Union is opening a full investigation into the Ashran clan. Multiple species are coming forward with testimony about similar abuses. Danny, I think you just started a political revolution. I just wanted to help a dying dragon, Danny said. I did not mean to change galactic politics. Silara approached him. She had overheard everything. Her golden eyes were bright with emotion. You did more than save my life, she said. You gave hope to everyone who has suffered under the Ashran. You showed that one person standing up can make a difference. That is a greater gift than you know. Rothan stood beside her. The Dravon people will never forget what you did. Both saving Silara and exposing the Ashran. You are a friend to our clan. To all Dravons who value honor over power. We owe you a debt that can never be fully repaid. You do not owe me anything, Danny said for what felt like the 100th time. Just take care of each other. Build something better than what the Ashran created. That is all the payment I need. The gathered ships began departing slowly. They had come when called. Now they returned to their lives, carrying stories of what had happened. Stories that would spread further. Stories about a small station and a brave mechanic and the day the galaxy stood together. Danny looked around his repair bay. It was still cluttered with medical equipment and tools. Still smelled of ozone and metal. Still looked like the same place it had been 3 days ago. But everything had changed. Everything was different now, and somehow that felt right. 2 weeks had passed since the Ashon ships retreated. Danny stood in his repair bay watching Silara stretch her wings. They spanned nearly 30 feet when fully extended. The purple scales caught the light and shimmered like jewels. The hybrid nodes have fully integrated, Dr. Volkov said, checking her scanner. Your body has adapted completely. In fact, you are showing enhancement beyond what we expected. Your strength is 20% greater than average for your species. Your healing rate is accelerated, and your ability to interface with technology is unique. Silara folded her wings carefully. She looked healthier than Danny had ever seen her. Her scales gleamed. Her eyes were bright and alert. She moved with confident grace. I feel better than I did before the poisoning, Silara said. It is strange. The worst thing that happened to me led to something remarkable. I have abilities no other Draven possesses. I can sense electronic systems like I sense air currents. I can understand technological concepts that would take others years to learn. Rothan stood nearby, watching his mate with obvious pride. His own wounds had healed completely. He looked ready to fly across the galaxy if needed. We need to return home soon, Rothan said. The clan council has requested our presence. The Ashon investigation has created significant political change. Many clans are speaking out for the first time. They want Silara to testify before the Galactic Union. Danny nodded. He had known this moment would come. Silara and Rothan had lives to return to. Responsibilities. A whole galaxy of politics and change that needed their attention. When will you leave? He asked, trying to keep his voice casual. Tomorrow, Silara answered, but we will return often. You are kin-friend now. That bond does not break with distance. Commander Harris entered the bay carrying a datapad. He looked tired but satisfied. The Galactic Union has officially condemned the Ashon clan. Farkos and 17 other clan leaders are facing trial. Multiple species are filing complaints about Ashon abuses going back centuries. Danny, your evidence opened the door for all of this. I just shared what we found, Danny said. Other people did the hard work of coming forward with their own stories. You gave them the courage to speak, Harris corrected. That matters. Also, I have been fielding requests from across the galaxy. Medical researchers want to study what you did. Engineers want to learn your techniques. 3 different species have asked if you would consult on similar cases. You have become famous, Reeves. Sorry about that. Danny grimaced. He had never wanted fame. He just wanted to fix things and be left alone. But the galaxy had other ideas now. Dr. Volkov smiled at his expression. Fame has some advantages. The medical community is very interested in biomechanical integration techniques. Your procedure could revolutionize treatment for dozens of conditions across multiple species. You should consider publishing detailed documentation. I will write it all down, Danny promised. If it helps others, it is worth the paperwork. Over the next few hours, people came to say goodbye to Silara and Rothan. Mechanics who had helped during the crisis, station personnel who had watched the impossible happen, even some of the security team members who had initially pointed weapons at them. Each person had something to say. A word of encouragement, a story about how the events had affected them. Danny listened and realized something important. This had not just changed Silara and Rothan. It had changed everyone who witnessed it. Changed how they thought about helping others, about taking risks, about standing up when it mattered. As evening fell on the station's artificial cycle, Danny found himself alone with Silara and Rothan one last time. They stood in the bay where everything had started, where a dying dragon had begged for help and a mechanic had said yes. I have something for you, Silara said. She lifted one of her claws and carefully pulled loose a scale from her chest. It came free with barely a twinge. The scale was the size of Danny's palm, deep purple with hints of crystalline structure beneath the surface. She placed it in his hands gently. The scale was warm and surprisingly light. It seemed to pulse with faint energy. This scale grew from one of the hybrid nodes you created, Silara explained. It is part organic, part technological. Part me, part your creation. Keep it. Remember that you did not just save my life. You gave me something new, something better. Danny held the scale carefully. He could feel the warmth of it. Could sense something almost like a heartbeat within it. I do not know what to say, he admitted. Say you will remember us, Rothan said. Say you will keep being who you are. Someone who helps when others give up. Someone who sees possibilities instead of limitations. The galaxy needs more humans like you. I will try, Danny said. That is all I can promise. I will keep trying. They shared one last moment together, three beings from different worlds who had become family through crisis and compassion. Then Silara and Rothan walked toward their ship. It was a beautiful vessel, designed for long-range flight, decorated with clan symbols Danny was still learning to understand. At the airlock, they turned back. Silara spread her wings one final time, a gesture of respect and farewell. Rothan roared softly, a sound that conveyed more emotion than words ever could. Then they were gone. The ship lifted smoothly and accelerated toward the stars. Danny watched until it was just another point of light among billions. Dr. Volkov stood beside him. You did something remarkable, Danny. You know that, right? Not just the medical procedure, everything. You changed lives, changed politics, changed how species see each other. I just fixed something broken, Danny said. That is what I do. You fixed more than you know, Dr. Volkov said softly. She squeezed his shoulder and walked away, leaving him alone with his thoughts. Danny looked down at the purple scale in his hands. It caught the light shimmering with inner fire. He thought about the past 2 weeks, the fear and hope and impossible success, the way the galaxy had come together when it mattered, the way simple compassion had sparked revolution. His communication console beeped. A message from his sister Rachel back on Earth. She had seen the news broadcasts. She was proud of him. She reminded him that he had always fixed broken things even when he was a kid. She said she loved him and to stay safe. Danny smiled. He set the scale carefully on his workbench where he could see it while he worked. Then he pulled up his schedule. There was a freight hauler coming in tomorrow with engine trouble. A small transport needed new life support systems. A research vessel required recalibration of its sensors, normal work. The kind of fixing that did not make galactic news or change political structures, just helping people who needed it. Danny picked up his wrench. It felt comfortable in his hand, familiar, real. Another message came through. An independent ship requesting emergency repairs. They were limping toward the station on failing engines. They needed help. Danny sent back an immediate response. Yes, he could help. Bring the ship in. He would be ready, because that was what he did. He fixed broken things. He helped people who needed it. He tried when others gave up. He was just a mechanic. But sometimes that was exactly what the galaxy needed. Danny got to work. There were always more things to fix, more people to help, more impossible situations that turned out to be possible after all. He would keep trying, keep fixing, keep caring. That was enough. That had always been enough. The stars shone outside the viewport. Ships came and went. Life continued. And somewhere out there, 2 dragons flew together through the darkness, alive and strong and free because someone had decided to try. Danny smiled and adjusted his wrench. There was work to do. There was always work to do, and he would not have it any other way.